Before proceeding to this game, you should know the 8 tips for playing Kokology. If you already know the steps, please feel free to skip this segment. 8 tips for mastering Kokology. First, say the first thing that pops into your head. The game works best when you don't hesitate or agonize over the choice of words. There are no right or wrong answers, so just relax and say whatever springs to your mind. Play with other people, if you can. You can do Kokology alone, but it's most enjoyable, exciting, and entertaining when you play with a partner or in a group. It's a chance to have a few laughs and get to know each other. You may find that you have more things in common than you ever suspected. On the other hand, you may find you're so incompatible that it's as though you're from another planet. There's only one way to find out for sure. Number 3. Don't try to predict the answers. It's natural to want to try to outsmart the quizzes or guess what their hidden meanings are. But where are you going to learn from that? Number 4. Be honest with yourself. Kokology may be only a game, but like any good game, it can teach you something about yourself if you let it. Don't be afraid to accept the truth when a minor fault or shortcoming of yours is exposed. Number 5. Be prepared. Some of the quizzes will ask you to write something down or draw a picture. So it's a good idea to have a pen or pencil or some paper handy before you start. 6. Don't scoop ahead. This goes along with the advice of not trying to guess the answers, but it's directed at the group that likes to read the last page of a mystery novel first. Why not open yourself up to a few surprises? Is it really so satisfying to be able to say, "Oh, I knew that all along"? 7. Watch people's reactions, including your own. The interpretations to the scenarios given in this video are only a starting point for learning more about yourself and others. Sometimes it's more instructive and entertaining to see how someone reacts to an answer that's a bit off target than it is to read an interpretation that's right on the money. 8. Keep an open mind. In Kokology, as in life, it's important to keep things in perspective. There are no correct answers and more than one way of reading any situation. If you are playing with friends, take the opportunity to learn from and about them. What fun would the world be if we all thought alike? Variety is a spice of life. This game is called Wave After Wave. Perhaps it's because we instinctively trace the roots of life back to the oceans. Perhaps it's something hardwired deep within our brains. Whatever the reason may be, the sea holds a special power over us. The tang of the salt air, the fine spray of the surf, the soft crashing of the waves. The net effect is to stimulate and soothe. Sometimes, a stroll along a sandy beach can transport you much further from your everyday reality than the actual distance you walk. That may be why the sea holds a special place in lovers' hearts. It provides them with a chance to journey together, if only for a brief time, into another world. Let's start the game. Number 1. You are walking along a quiet beach. As you wander the dunes, you spot a surfboard washed up on the sand. Describe the surfboard and the impression it makes on you. Number 2. You climb onto the board and paddle out to try your luck on the waves. How are the conditions for surfing today? Number 3. You manage to get to your feet and are experiencing the thrill of actually riding the wave when suddenly you wiped out and tumble head first into the water. What do you think, feel, or try to scream as you struggle to find your way back to the surface? Number 4. You finally emerge from the water unscathed. And looking back towards the beach, you see that a person you know has been watching you. Who is that person? You can pause this video to write or list down your answers. Now let's proceed to the key of wave after wave. Most of us sense intuitively the strong psychological associations between the sea and sex. The way you imagine your experience on the waves tells us something about your expectations and desires in the sexual realm. Number 1. Throughout history and across the cultures, the sea is portrayed as feminine. Against that backdrop, the surfboard provides an overt example of what Freud referred to as a phallic symbol. Women, if you're watching this, your description of the surfboard corresponds with your image and impression of masculine sexual characteristics. And for the men who's watching this, your answer shows your perception of your own physical sexuality. How does it go? Example. It's just like every other surfboard out there. You've seen one, you've seen them all. Either you haven't seen enough surfboards or you've seen far too many. Another example. It's a monster wooden longboard, freshly waxed and gleaming up with a red stripe up in the middle. Whoa, thanks for sharing. But that's just a little more than any of us wanted to know. Another example. A sad looking, beaten up old board that nobody wants anymore. Don't rush into judgment. Who knows? A little wax, a little buffing, and that good old board might look good as you. Number 2. The surfing conditions you describe reveals your own hopes and expectations from sex. The water is warm and inviting. Wave after wave breaks softly onto the beach. That's enough to put anyone in the mood. Another one. The water's a little chilly, and there's not a wave in sight. Don't worry. There will be other days, other chances maybe. Today, you can just snuggle up in the beach blanket. Number 3. Total submersion within the churning waters is a metaphor for the peak of sexual pleasure. Your thoughts and feelings as you struggled upward correspond to those you experience in the throes of ecstasy. Oh damn! I almost made it that time. I was so close. I take it you were expecting something more from the experience? Help! Somebody please help me. I can't breathe. Hopefully somebody around here knows mouth to mouth. Hey, this isn't so bad. I think I'll just stay down here and have a swim around until the wave passes. Don't get too comfortable down there. You're going to have to come up for air sometime. Number 4. The person you pictured standing on the beach is someone you show intense interest in a sexual sense. This doesn't necessarily indicate active sexual desire, take note. It may be that you're simply curious about what that person is like in the most intimate and unguarded moments. Then again, maybe, just maybe, that's something you want to find out firsthand. Was the person you named your current lover or a secret love interest? That shouldn't be too hard to accept. But then there are always those who name a member of the same sex, a cousin, their dentist, their doctors. Don't worry, your secrets are safe with us. I hope you enjoyed that game. And if you're interested, please comment your answers below. Again, this has been Mikey for Kokology.